Hey everybody, happy Labor Day weekend, and I hope y'all are having a great holiday weekend. And it's week 10, and so we have two new verses this week, and the bad news is they're really wordy, lots of words. There's some tough verses, I'm not gonna lie. I've been trying to stay ahead of you guys so that I could already know the verse and be able to stand here and act like I know what I'm talking about, but this week I was not able to stay ahead. So I've got my notes here and I'll be looking down a lot, but we're gonna learn them together. And like I said, these are two of the longest ones yet. I think they're two of the longest ones in this whole chapter, Matthew 5, that we're learning. And so I went back to the path method where we have like a location, because that's one that really helps me when there's a lot to remember. And some people say, well, it takes so long to learn the path, is it really worth it? Stephen is one of those. He's always like, wow, he'll hear me doing these videos and he's like, that took you so long to explain. But to me it's worth 5-10 minutes of investment, because I'm going to be able to remember it so much easier. So we're doing a path today, and if you don't feel like learning the path, then you can just hit stop and learn these verses, whatever method helps you, whether it be a song or make up motions, or there's all kinds of options. But if you want to learn the path, I've done a path around Lakeside for us. So first we have to lay down the path. So the first stop is the back parking lot. I don't know about y'all, but we drive up by McDonald's and then we're in the back parking lot. So stop 1 is the back parking lot. Okay, stop 2 is going under the portico, like you're walking in and you're under the little portico thing. So 1 is the back parking lot, 2 is the portico. 3 is the gym door. You have to open the gym door to go inside. Okay, 4 is the gym desk. As soon as you come inside, there's the desk. So 1 is a parking lot, 2 is a portico, the door, and then the gym desk. And then you turn right and you go into the gym. So the 5th spot is the gym, and we've got 10 spots. So that's half the path right there. All right, so we're in the gym as spot number 5. And then we go through the doors and we're in the drink area, like where we get all of our food, but you know where they set up all the drinks. So you're in the drink area is number 6. We keep walking and we get to the fellowship hall. So fellowship hall is number 7. So 1 is the parking lot, 2 is the portico, 3 is the door, 4 you go in and you see the desk, 5 you go into the gym, and then 6 is the drink area, 7 is the fellowship hall, and then we keep walking and then there's the bathrooms. Okay, so 8 is the bathroom, and then 9 is just the atrium, the big part of the atrium, and 10 is we turn right and we're at the children's checkout desk. So super quick, and if you need to stop and listen to that part again, I'm not going to go through them all again because I'm trying to make this video not be forever long, but that's the 10 spots. Stop and get the 10 spots in your head really good, and then hit play. Okay, so now we got to figure out our key things in each spot that are going to help us learn our verse. So the first thing is you drive up to the back parking lot and there's a huge blow up number 4 in the parking lot, and you're like, whoa, that's so weird. Why is there a like huge, kind of like, you know, those men that like they're like going like this? It's kind of like that, but it's a number 4 in the parking lot. And picture it. What color is it? You can picture whatever color you want, but picture the color, and you're like, why is there a blow up 4 in the back parking lot? All right, you get out of your car and you hear an owl hoot, and that's a little weird. And you're walking up to the portico, and you get to the portico, and there's those people that give massages, you know, like the little 5 or 10 minute massages, and there's like 4 massage chairs, and they're maybe 1's open, and 3 there's some people getting massages there. And just think about people at our church that might be there getting massage, and you're like, wow, that's so bizarre. So they're getting massages in the portico. And then you go up to the door to go inside the gym, and there's a big sign in the shape of a 1, and it says for lease, like for rent, but for lease. And you're like, who's leasing the church, and what happened to our church, and why do we have a for lease sign on the church gym door? So it's just bizarre. You open the door, and then what do you see? The desk. Moses, okay, Moses is sitting at the desk. So picture Moses. We've all got a picture of him. Most of us think of Charlton Heston from the movie, but whatever picture you have of Moses, he's at the gym desk asking people to sign in, and he's holding the 10 Commandments, of course, because Moses is always holding the 10 Commandments. Okay, so the gym desk, It's got Moses and the Ten Commandments. And then we turn into the gym, and this is bizarre, but remember, the more bizarre, the more it's going to stick with you. Brother Greg is leading a choreography class in the gym. It's kind of funny. So you could picture him leading a specific dance, whatever you want, but he's leading a dance class in the gym, and there's all these church members in there learning how to dance from Brother Greg, and he's actually pretty good at it, and you're like, I had no idea Brother Greg could dance, and so this is just wild. And the whole time you're walking through the gym, you're just like watching them going, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay, and then where was our next area? The drink area, where we get our drinks. And so you go in there, and there's a phone booth. A phone booth is there. It could be like an old one from days gone by with the little swingy, the little door that folds up. It could be one from like London that's red. You've all seen them in the movies and everything. But some kind of phone booth is right there where we get our drinks. And so you peek inside the phone booth, and there's a for lease sign on the phone. Okay? And so that's just really weird. And then we go to the fellowship hall, and the doors of the fellowship hall are the pearly gates, like the pearly gates of heaven, made out of pearls. And there's no doors there anymore. It's just the pearly gates, and you're like, whoa, wow. Okay, so you go through the pearly gates, and you're in the fellowship hall, and it's all decorated like heaven. Like there's clouds, there's angels flying, little cherubs, there's like a harp, somebody's playing a harp. It's really ethereal. It's just like it's just transformed into the kingdom of heaven, the whole fellowship hall. And then you notice there's an owl in there, okay? And maybe it's the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial from a long time ago. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but all of us old people have seen it. Or just some kind of owl is in there. And he's doing a dance, and he's also teaching people maybe to do the moonwalk, or maybe to do the shoot, or maybe to do whatever dance you want him to be doing. So picture a life-size owl, like a huge owl, doing and teaching a dance. And guess what his name is? Do you know the owl? Give a guess. His name is Great. That's what everybody calls him, just Great. Like just that one word, Great. So this owl named Great is doing and teaching some dances in the fellowship hall. All right, so we've got 3 more stops. We come out of the fellowship hall, and it's the bathroom. And there's 4 girls go into the bathroom. Why? Because the bathrooms, you shouldn't do this, but the bathroom's where people go to gossip or talk about people or tell people stuff where they want other people to hear. Okay, so it's wrong, and you shouldn't do that. But the bathroom is going to remind you that you're telling somebody else something. 4 girls. Okay, then you come back out in the atrium, and this is so bizarre. You come into the atrium, and there's a Ferris wheel. Okay, like a huge Ferris wheel. And if you've ever been to the fair, you know those sketchy looking fair people? Like there's a man from the fair, and he's like all tattooed up, and he's like looks like he needs a shower, and he's just a little creepy looking. He's a fair guy. And he's standing there along with a scribe. Now, scribes in the Bible were the ones who copied. So think of like, you might not have a mental image of that, but they copied the Bible. But think of like a really old person with like a feather pen, and he's copying stuff, okay, at the Ferris wheel. So the scribe and the fair guy. And the scribe is copying stuff, but he also has his arm out like this. And if you ever go to like get on a ride, you have to be like this tall. You have to be taller than like the arm of whatever it is holding it out. So the scribe is holding out, and you've got to exceed him in order to get on the ride. And then the last place is the children's check-in place, and you'll understand that when we put the words to it. Okay, I'm sorry this is getting long. Now we just got to go back through the path one more time and add the words of our verse to it. Okay, so stop 1 was the back parking lot. There was a huge blow up 4 when you drive up, and you're wondering, what is that there for? And the first word of this verse is therefore. Therefore. And a lot of times on verses, if you can remember that first word, you got it. But if you can't get that first word, it's hard to say it. So therefore, what is the for therefore? Therefore is the first word. And then we heard an owl as we're walking up to the portico for whoever. So therefore, whoever. And then what do we see under the portico? the massage chairs. People were relaxing. So the verse goes, therefore, whoever relaxes. Okay, that's the first 3 words. And then we get to the gym door, and it's got that for lease sign on it, and it's in the shape of a 1, and so the words are one of the least. So therefore, whoever relaxes, one of the least. And we go inside, and who was working the gym desk? Who was at the gym desk? Moses, and he had the 10 commandments. So it's of these commandments. So therefore, whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments, then we turn in the gym, and Brother Greg's teaching choreography in there, and teaches others to do the same, is the words of our verse. So Brother Greg is teaching others to do this same dance that he's doing. Okay? And then we go into the drink area, and what was there? A phone booth, and inside the phone booth was a for lease sign, and it's will be called least. Okay, will be called least. Now, if any of these word pictures don't work for you, like if you just like, oh, I never can remember the phone booth, then clearly that didn't resonate with you. Make up something else that would help you remember those names. I'm just trying to do the legwork for you, but if you don't like one of them, change it, please. Okay, and then we go in the fellowship hall, and we go through the pearly gates, and so our words are in the kingdom of heaven. So there's greeters there at the pearly gates, and they're saying, welcome in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so in the kingdom of heaven. And then we see the owl. We also hear the who, but we see the owl who's teaching a dance, and it's but whoever, so who, the owl, whoever does them and teaches them. So the owl's doing the dance and teaching it. Will be called, what was the owl's name? Great. Will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, and then our 8th spot was the bathroom, and 4 girls went in there, and it's for I tell you. For I tell you, because you go in the bathroom when you have something you want to tell. You come back in the atrium, and what was there? A Ferris wheel. Okay, and this part is, unless your righteousness exceeds, so remember the scribe was standing there with his arm out, so you got to be taller than him. Unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes, and I know this is corny, and the Pharisees, the fair guide. So think of the fair guide at the Ferris wheel, and hopefully that's going to trigger Pharisees. So your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees. And then you go into the children's area to check in, and the last phrase of this verse, we're there, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. If you don't check your children in, you will never get to go in. They will never open those doors for you with their special key cards. Okay, I know that was super quick. I expect that you're going to need to watch this twice, but I would rather make it shorter and just have you watch it twice than make it a really long video. I'm super proud of you guys. Don't give up, okay? Even if you don't have last week's down pat yet, go ahead and try to learn this week's. If this path doesn't work for you, figure out another way. If my little clues don't work for you, there's a million different combinations of things you can put at the spot to help you. So keep up the good work. That's Matthew 5:19 through 20. I'm super proud of you guys, and we'll see you next week.